Like, oh man, there's stuff going on in the world. I'm trying to read right now. We take this global approach to things and we miss what's happening right next to us. I mean, I know you're as guilty as I am. I go home at night, hit the button, digital, garage door automatically, magically opens. I drive in, I hit the button again, and it automatically, magically closes, and I go inside. I don't have to talk to anybody in my neighborhood. I don't have to see them. Everything I need is inside my home. I've got my digital readout on my refrigerator that tells me it's a nice -6 degrees in the freezer, and I've got my microwave oven, and I get to heat up my food real quickly in that, and I've got my satellite TV, and I've got my internet, and I got my wireless going in the house. I don't need anyone else. I got everything I need to interact with the world. But I miss the one thing, which is seeing my neighbor and talking to my neighbor and having a relationship with the neighbor and hugging and friendship and interaction and love and caring and help, and all those things that happen with human intimacy are lost in the digital realm. Yeah, I can see her all the time. Live in person. Programmers aren't valuing your human interactions. They don't care about your human relationships. They don't care that you're not stopping what you're doing to spend time with your children or your spouse or with your friends. But there's still something beautiful about hanging out at the local bar.
Sure is.
Choices. In the digital realm, everything is made into choices. This sometimes forces choices when none need to be made. And we have yes-no answers to things. The system tells us what to pick. We go down and we click the checks in underwriting because that's there, that's there, that's there, but we don't consider why those things are asking us why they're there, or what the system does when I don't check that it's there. What happens next? What process has to be go through? What mail has to go out? What's that insured going? How are they going to react to that? What other problems is that going to cause later on? We just go down and answer the yes-no questions, or the fill in the blanks, or the multiple choice. The problem with the internet is there is a gabillion choices, but we truthfully still narrow our world even more because we have filters that we put on. When we want to find out the latest news, we pick one news source to go to. My father picks Fox News. And every time Fox News has some stupid thing come out, he has to send it to me. Because that's how his world is controlled. See, I told you! It's ridiculous. There are a lot more different sources to go to, other than just the one. But with all this wealth of choices in the digital world, he still just picks the one choice. It's his filter on the world. Instead of looking at what digital has to offer, it actually causes us to dwindle things down because there are so many choices. We just have to go to something that's comfortable, something familiar. We don't do the research. We don't utilize all the greatness that's available to us for all the information. It narrows our world and the infinite possibilities that we have. We always have the choice also of making no choice at all. I mean, I don't have to choose to accept what some news source tells me is truth. I can do my own research. Sometimes the answer is no. You know what? I'm just not going to use these sources. I'm going to find something better. I'm going to do my own study. I'm going to go to the place it's happening, or I'm going to call someone who's there, or I'm going to whatever, but we don't do those things. We want other people thinking for us. Complexity. Digital tools often oversimplify nuanced problems. Biased against contradiction and compromise, digital media tends to polarize us, incapable of recognizing shared values or a paradox. Yes and no existing at the same time. Issues arise when substituting. We Google, we have a filter net. You know, you can Google something, you can find the right answer, but are you checking against multiple sources, or just check the first answer you get on Wikipedia and go, okay, it must be true? Who was the person that programmed that? Who was the person who put that information in? Are they a reliable source? You have to dig deeper and deeper and deeper if you really want to trust the source. Or you have to check multiple sources. But it wants to make things seem simple to us when they're very complex. The answers are not simple. We have to take for example, let's say I want to look up Rick Perry. Rick Perry, let's see, I want to know if he ever voted for a tax increase. Rick Perry voted once for a tax increase. Oh my gosh. But you don't do your research. You don't go back 25 years ago when Rick Perry was a Democrat, not a Republican. And when he made the vote, what was the vote on? And where was the vote? Was it a national vote? Was it a local vote? Was it just something that was a vote in his little school district? We don't ask ourselves the big questions. And so we come to simple answers to complex issues. Rick Perry is a human being. He's complex. He's not just this. He's many different things. It's hard to understand a complex human being and come down to simple answers. Simplification drives us into camps of separation. Maybe you're a Republican. Maybe you're a Democrat. Maybe you're a Libertarian. Maybe you're all those. Could you be some Republican and some Democrat based on your ideologies? Sure. You can accept some of this as truth and some of this as truth. What are you then? Well, you have to pick. There's only one way to vote, this way or that way. So we want to make things simple when they're very complex. And that is very difficult to do. One last example is maps. If I go on Google and I go, all right, I want to go from Dallas to Atlanta, and I enter that in there and I say direction, what's it going to show me? I-20, right? It's going to show me I-20. Is that the only way to Atlanta? No. There are lots of different ways to get to Atlanta. I could drive, I could fly, I could walk, I could ride a bike. Right? I could take the scenic route. What's the scenic route? How do I know what the scenic route is? How do I know where the historical markers are? What if I want to see every historical marker between here and there? You know, there's complexity to those things. Right? What happens if there's traffic? Where do I go? Oh, then I go to my phone. It tells me, oh, traffic here, go this way. It's not as simple as you want, but programmers want you to think it's simple. They want you to think it's all simple. Scale. On the net, everything scales, or at least it's supposed to. Digital brings everything up to the same universal level. We're all supposed to be equal, but we're really not. The pastor that makes a sermon on Sunday mornings can post his sermon out there, and then if I don't like what he has to say, I can post mine out there. They're both available. We're supposed to scale up, but they don't necessarily scale up to each other. It commodifies the landscape, and it makes things confusing. Things become about price. Things become about the answer that I want. Right? We have to be careful of that. I'm moving a little bit faster. One size does not fit all. Programmers want you to think there's only one size, though. That everything's equal, and everything is not equal. Identity. Digital experiences are out of body. With less anonymity, we experience the human repercussions of what we say and do. By being anonymous in the digital realm, we leave our humanity behind. If I'm here, and I look at Bill and I go, you're a scumbag, right? With all intent and meaning and heartfelt, what's going to happen? He's going to say, well, you're a jerk. Yeah, well, you're this. And then it may turn into a physical confrontation. But in the digital realms, we allow ourselves to live anonymous. We come up with names like G31 Jersey Girl, right? And then we can post whatever we want to, anywhere and all the time. Be whoever we want to be. Say whatever we want to say, and there's no repercussions for that. We lose our humanity by doing that. If you're going to be in the digital realms, we have to learn how to live transparently and openly. Otherwise, we're going to be able to say things that aren't truth and operate in dangerous places that are not going to make the tool a good tool. But if we operate in the area of being who we are, saying who we are. I mean, any user group I go into, it's Don Owens. I own my words. My words are mine. If I'm going to post them out there, they're going to be out there forever. I can't take them back. I can't go, oh, I wish I hadn't said that. And I could write that I apologize for it. But it's there. If you're going to live online, live out there transparently. Be yourself. Do not be somebody hiding. Because if you're hiding and you're making statements that you're not willing to stand behind, you're no use to anyone or anywhere whatsoever. You're just a drain on the system. You're just a misuse of digital. Programmers have identity. The people who program, the companies and the things that we utilize are visible people. They are available. They are known. Hackers are not. Hackers use code names, and they cause destruction and problems. Social. Digital remains biased towards the social. We must remember that it's biased to connection with people, not their content or their cache. The whole idea of this thing started with social interaction and sharing of ideas. Now, I would argue that at the same time, our offering things like we offer online, where people can purchase them, is still a social interaction. We're providing access to a product that you can purchase, and you can just do it online if you want to do it that way. I don't think that's a bad thing. But we have to remember that at the core of it is human interaction. It is a social tool. It is designed for us to communicate with each other, to share ideas, and to make life with each other more enjoyable. So let's not lose concept of the idea of that.